Okay, Adam.
All right.
What did you watch?
Okay. So I will talk. I guess I'll quickly talk about two movies as well. So the first movie I will talk about really quickly is a film directed by John Krasinski. It's also in theater. It didn't do too well. It's called If, which stands for Imaginary Friends. And it's a story that it would seem to play off like more of like a traditional comedy, but it actually has some kind of deeper emotional notes to it as well. This was kind of a mixed bag for me. My daughter and my wife really enjoyed the movie a lot. I was like, I just wanted a little bit more from it too. I felt like the pacing was a little back and forth and kind of odd for it. But essentially, we do follow this young girl who's about 12 years old, played by Kaylee Fleming, who plays B, and her father is John Krasinski. She has recently lost her mother. And so she is living with her grandmother while her dad is in the hospital dealing with some kind of mysterious illness, needs some operation. We don't really get any specifics on what's up with John Krasinski's character, but he's very lighthearted and makes a lot of jokes. But because B is older and mature now, because she's 12, she doesn't like any humor, especially dealing with the loss of the mother and having the father in the hospital too. So essentially, it takes about 40 minutes of this runtime before you really see any imaginary friends. And the kind of the head of this operation to try to place these old imaginary friends these ifs with new kids so that they can have their own imaginary friends is a guy named Cal, played by Ryan Reynolds. There's an interesting friendship between Kaylee and Ryan Reynolds here in this movie that he does try to channel his Ryan Reynolds charm here, and there's some good chemistry with the cast, and the animation with the different imaginary friends are fun. But I just feel like some of the pacing stuff, and maybe I was just in the wrong mindset. I'm kind of at 2 stars for this. It was kind of disappointing. It was definitely it was tonally different, and how it was marketed was also kind of different too. Maybe this is something worth another watch because there is some interesting animation. I think the funniest gag here is that one of the imaginary friends is an invisible guy named Keith. I come to find out it's a new actor in town. In the credits, he says, and introducing Brad Pitt as Keith. So you never see Keith, but apparently Brad Pitt plays this invisible guy that all the characters are tripping on. A little homage to Deadpool 2 there, I would say. So I'm at 2 stars for If. It's enjoyable. My family kind of liked it a lot more. There's some good emotional impact there, but I want a little bit more from it, for me, honestly. But the main movie I'm going to talk about is Bad Boys Ride or Die, is what I went to the theater this weekend and saw. This movie came out a couple of weeks ago, and it is the 4th installment in the Bad Boys franchise, normally directed by Michael Bay, but the last couple outings have not been by him, even though Michael Bay does appear in the movie. We do see Will Smith and Martin Lawrence reprise their roles as these bad boy cops. Now they're a little older, so there's a lot of old jokes as well. Will Smith being uncanceled by this movie now because of the slap. He really hasn't been seen in Hollywood all too much, but there's a certain kind of chemistry and delightful energy that these two actors bring together when they make these Bad Boys movies. I did really like the top 2020's box office champion Bad Boys for Life, which came out in 2020, which I think the wrong title for this movie. But Ride or Die is basically kind of a fugitive type story. Somebody gets framed for some wrongdoings after their death. And of course, Will Smith and Martin Lawrence are also framed for it too. So there's a lot of fugitive-esque films. We do see this quite a bit played out now. The supporting cast of Vanessa Hudgens, Alexander Ludwig, and Paulo Nunez are back as well, and they were really fun. There's some really good chemistry between the entire cast, but the main standout is a character named Reggie, which is Martin Lawrence's son-in-law, who played it by Dennis McDonald. He's only been in 3 movies: Bad Boys 2, Bad Boys 3, and Bad Boys 4, and he's by far the best character in this movie. There's a scene here that had me and my wife and the actual theater as well. There's several people in the audience rolling when he all of a sudden goes commando, because he is in the Marine Corps. And there's a funny joke when Martin Lawrence says, "You need to get yourself a job." He's like, "Well, I'm in the Marines." Like, "Well, you need to get yourself deployed." And then you actually see him actually use his military training and does a little salute to his father-in-law in the ring camera. It's a really great scene. You guys have to check that out if you guys like the franchise. It's some really very funny. There's chemistry between the characters are all great, but it's kind of predictable at the same time. But overall, because with some predictable twist, overall, though, I couldn't help myself. I really liked the movie a lot. I think this is the second best film in the franchise, and I'm at a pretty positive 3 stars. I would love to see this one again. So, Bad Boys Ride or Die. Even though I think it should have been Bad Boys for Life, but that's the third movie. We're not going to talk about that. The title's wrong. But Will Smith, though, he's back. Martin Lawrence, by far one of his funny movies in a long time. And I could definitely relate when he went to the gas station. Are those hot dogs fresh? Yeah, they are. I put them on yesterday. I'll take one of them. Yeah, roller food at the gas station.
Your midlife crisis moment is that?
That's what it is. Yeah, having to suffer. Yeah, bring your own lunch, folks. It's a lot better and a lot healthier for you at work. So
I've never seen a Bad Boys movie.
I've seen the first 2.
There's a funny guy. Michael Bay does show up. He almost hits them with a car, and the guy that goes like this. That I don't know what the shrug shoulder guy's like. He's also in it too. I don't know what he's like, the kind of a meme or I don't know. We'll cut that part out, but he's funny. There's some funny lines in this movie. Okay, really good funny movies.
I did have to check. Brad Pitt is credited in If. Like
he
it's
is,
on his IMDb page.
It is. So. I wasn't joking. Yeah. So Brad Pitt as Keith could be.
Well, it says his voice pops up. So
interesting.
It's a voice performance.